Hi.
Hello guys. If you're brand new to my channel, my name is Nikki and this is my book nook. Y'all, I have been struggling lately. I have been struggling and I entirely blame Penelope Douglas. If you watched my last video, I reviewed Kill Switch. It is the third book in the Devil's Night series and it was just so freaking good that the second I finished it, it just launched me into the most aggressive, horrific reading slump I have ever been in. I picked up a book afterwards. I ended up DNFing it. It just wasn't for me. And then after that, like, I literally tried to read 3 different books. I didn't even get like 20 pages in. I was not feeling them. I wasn't vibing. I was like questioning my life. I was like, am I not a reader anymore? What is going on? And then I just finally caved and I picked up another Penelope Douglas book because it's what I needed. I've been trying to pace myself through the Devil's Night series because I love it so much. I'm gonna be distraught when it ends, but I remembered that I had this little baby on my bookshelf, Tryst Six Venom. Because I've been loving the Devil's Night series so much, I pretty much decided like, hey, I'm going to read everything that Penelope Douglas has ever written. And I've been following her on Instagram and she's been teasing this book for the last 2 months, and the very second it came out, I bought it. I added it to cart so fast and I read it. And I am out of my reading slump. It was so freaking good. How do I even explain this book? Honestly, no, I know exactly how to explain this book. It is Gossip Girl meets Outer Banks meets Shameless, kind of meets The Outsiders. Like, that is honestly, I'm gonna put that on the thumbnail because that is a perfect description. This book, so interesting. So, right off the bat, this is a girl on girl, enemies to lovers story. But when I say enemies to lovers, like, I feel like every book nowadays is like, oh, this is enemies to lovers, because just because someone isn't completely obsessed with someone right away doesn't mean the book is enemies to lovers. Like, in this book, literally enemies, like, hate each other, fighting, like physically fighting, nasty to each other, like absolute mortal enemies to lovers. And it was so good. It was so satisfying. Basically this story, I'm not gonna give any spoilers in this because honestly I feel like I don't have to. It's pretty easy to explain. This story follows, just like Penelope Douglas books always are, there's 2 different perspectives. One is of Clay is a girl, Clay, and one is of Olivia, or Liv. Clay is, they both go to this Catholic private school, of course, makes the setting much more scandalous. But Clay is like super pretty, blonde, like most popular girl in school. She's the captain of the lacrosse team, which Liv is also on. Everyone thinks, of course, that she has like a perfect family. Her life is perfect, when in reality, like at home, everything's falling apart. She is a complete, total jerk and bully towards Liv. Liv is quite literally from the other side of the tracks. She lives in a house with 5 brothers. Altogether, they're kind of referred to as the Tryst Six, which is where that comes from, the title, Tryst Six Venom. The title is kind of a mouthful. It's kind of hard to say, but it like makes sense once you read it. But yeah, Liv is, I loved Liv. I loved her so much. She is stunningly beautiful. She is just like the way she's described. She's not described as like, she's not like overtly stunningly beautiful, but she's just like effortlessly beautiful, like long dark hair, and like just, she wears this like red lipstick, and like she just has these little braids she puts in her hair. Like, I was all about Liv. She is, like I said, from the other side of the tracks, but she doesn't have like a chip on her shoulder about it. Like, she just totally owns who she is. She's worked her butt off to get into this school. Her dream in life is she wants to go to Dartmouth, which she ends up getting into at the beginning of the story, and whatever. Liv is fantastic. But yeah, like, Clay bullies the crap out of Liv. They're both on the lacrosse team together. They have been like mortal enemies pretty much since high school started. But just totally belittles her, like picks on her for like, you know, her family, where she comes from, just like everything she could possibly pick on her for. And like, tensions just rise, and it becomes like inevitable that, or not inevitable, but it becomes like obvious that there's a reason Clay treats her this way, and it's because she's jealous of her, jealous of how like free and open she is with herself. Liv is like openly lesbian, and Clay thinks that she hates her, but is realizing deeper down that there's something else there, and there's a reason that she hates her. And tensions rise so high in this. There's so much angst. There's so much like back and forth. Like, it's got some like sports aspects to it. The reason I say that it is Gossip Girl is because of like the school setting. It's like a private Catholic school. It's very similar to Gossip Girl in that like everybody that goes there, like they're all super rich. All the kids, like it's expected you go to Ivy League. Like all their parents are very like important people in this like small town that they're from. And Liv is totally like the Dan Humphrey in this situation, the one that like that's really like motivated and really successful in school, but like has to come from far away, whatever. I say that it's like Outer Banks because there is very much like a Pogue versus Kook element to this story, except they're called Saints versus Swamp. So like Liv, like the area that she's from, they're called Swamp, you know, they're like kind of the poor, the like working class sort of people, and the Saints are all like the stuck up rich kids, or the Kooks. It's just so good. I say it's like The Outsiders because like it's a lot more violent than Outer Banks. Like there's like fights going on, like the two sides really hate each other. It's not just a like, oh, Pogues for life. Like they really hate each other. Like there's a lot of like deep set, long history of tension there, because most of the people that do live on the other side of the tracks, they are like native Seminoles. It's set in Florida, so it's kind of like with Twilight, like the tribe sort of thing, like the reservation, like that's what it is. And the rich people kind of want to like move onto their land and like buy it out so they can build up like resorts and businesses and stuff. So that's why it's like such a deep set like hatred of each other. And the reason I say it's like shameless is we get like such a look at Liv's family. Both of Liv's parents are gone, they've passed away. So it's like their entire household is being run by her like oldest brother basically, and there's 5 brothers and her. So it's just total like chaos. Everybody's working together to like try to make ends meet. Like everybody's piled in rooms together, everything's a wreck. Like they're just trying every day to just like stay afloat. And the banter between them and like the back and forth and the like, you know, I'm doing everything I can to keep this family together. It's very like Shameless vibes, and it was great. I loved it. I love Penelope Douglas in general. Like as always, she is the queen of spice, but like aside from her spice, which is literally like the best I've ever read, her stories are just so good. There's always twists and turns. There's always like, again, the multiple perspectives. There's always things you just didn't see coming. And I mean, this obviously is a girl on girl romance. So there's this whole other element to it where like Liv is obviously out, Clay is not, and like her entire like life and reputation could be destroyed if she is out. So there's lots of like sneaking around. The buildup is great. I love this book so much. I do feel like there was a part in the middle where it got kind of like drawn out a little bit. I feel like this book could have been like 75 to 100 pages less and it would have been perfect. But yeah, it's great. If you've read anything by Penelope Douglas and you like her, you'll love this book. Go read it. If you're intimidated by the girl on girl, it's not my normal read either. I actually think this is the first book I've read that's fully like girl on girl, and it was fantastic. It didn't bother me at all. I promise. It's like, it's great. It's a great story. It's a great love story, a great slow burn, all the tropes we love. It's fantastic, and Penelope is my queen. And I'm probably gonna have to read the next book in the Devil's Night series very soon, or I won't be able to function. So that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've read Tryst Six Venom, let me know all your thoughts down below. And I will see y'all very soon.